Hi, this is Drew Erickson back again talking about money, not math. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend, and I hope today's conversation is helpful for you. Today's conversation, we're going to talk about what happens to your income if you get sick or hurt and can't work. Now, wait, before you turn off the video or stop the podcast, because it's not a fun conversation to think about getting sick or hurt and unable to work. Keep in mind, it is possible, right? So statistically speaking, they say 1 out of 4 people during their careers from age 20 to 60 or whatever will get sick, hurt, and unable to work at some point in time, all right? So I'm not saying it'll happen to everyone. I hope it happens to no one, but I think it's extremely important that we understand what happens to our income, and we answer tough questions like, how are we going to pay for our lifestyle in the case that we get sick or hurt and aren't able to work, all right? So today, I'm going to go over 2 examples, one being if you have group long-term disability insurance, which covers when you get sick or hurt and can't work, and one if you can't. Because in today's society, only about 49% of employees are offered group long-term disability insurance, which means that 51% of employees, it's 100% on them to protect themselves. And for the 49% who have it, it's important for them to be aware of how it works, so that they know what will happen if they need to use it, or if they should be planning around it outside of their work. Because keep in mind, our group retirement plans are not they're not, they're called plans, but they're more tools than anything, right? They don't just work because you have them. We have to understand how they work and potentially how to supplement the planning we do around them if it's important to you to do so. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully it works out well here. Oh yeah, almost forgot how to share my screen. So hopefully my screen popped up here. As you can hopefully probably read here, I'm going to use an example of if you use easy numbers, if you make $120,000 per year or $10,000 per month of gross income, what does that look like for you? All right, the first example I'm going to use is if you work and you have group long-term disability. All right, all group long-term disability and policies they have differences, but the most standard one has 60% group long-term disability, all right? 60% group long-term disability example. All right, forgive my handwriting as always. My handwriting wasn't great in the first place, and when you add writing on a screen, it doesn't get any better. So if you make about $10,000 per month of gross income, you're going to be subject, if you live in Minnesota, or specifically Thief River Falls, Minnesota, where I live, Thief River Falls, I always say that too fast, you're going to have about a 30% effective income tax rate, which comes out to be about, this is actually more specific than necessary, but according to the calculators I have, about $6,968 per month of net income. All right, net income. All right, so if that's your net income. So like I said, most group long-term disability contracts that I've come across at least you have about a 60% benefit. So what does that mean? Well, it means that they're going to pay you 60% of your gross income, which is $6,000 per month group long-term disability. But so that's off the bat about $968 less than you're used to making. Okay, maybe that would hurt, maybe it wouldn't. What we have to remember is most companies pay for this benefit. So they're deferring the tax, which means that when you take the benefit, you have to pay a tax. It's a pre-tax benefit, which means the benefit you get is you have to pay taxes on it. All right, so this is before tax, or gross. All right, so now your income went down, you're going to be subject to about a 25% effective income tax rate. So if we look at that, what your net benefit's going to be is about $5,226 per month of net income group long-term disability benefit. All right, so from what you're used to making on a month in, month out standpoint, that's going to be about a $1,742 per month, or 25% gap. Or another way of looking at it, you're taking basically a 25% decrease in income. All right, so if you've ever been sick or hurt and unable to work, or if you've ever known someone who's had to go through an unfortunate event of being sick or hurt and unable to work, a lot of us think about the person in the body cast, but realistically speaking, about 90% of these people are sick or hurt and unable to work due to illnesses like cancer and different things like that, right? Multiple sclerosis and all the different illnesses out there. So, or most recently, maybe COVID-19. Okay, so what we have to ask ourselves is, how would it feel and what would our financial lives look like if we had to take a 25% or $1,742 per month pay gap or pay cut? All right, how would you pay for your bills? How would you pay for your groceries? How would you pay for your debt? And how would you save for your financial future? Because I'm sure we all still want to retire. All right. So if that makes you uncomfortable thinking about that, or if that sounds painful, it might be worth considering talking to someone you trust and specialize in this area, because depending on what your occupation is, it is possible for us to close this gap almost entirely. So you feel little to no pay reduction while you're unable to work. Now, we're never going to be able to make more while we're at home, because we don't want to encourage people not to work. But it's extremely important to be aware of what your options are if you're like most people, where a 25% pay cut like that would hurt really bad, on top of the medical bills you're probably going to be accumulating because you're sick or hurt and unable to work. All right, so that's if you have group long-term disability. If you have any questions, or if that made you feel uncomfortable and you would be worried about losing that, I strongly recommend reaching out to someone you trust to ask questions and look at your options. And if you don't have that person, feel free to give me a call. All right. Now, the second side is that what if you have no group long-term disability? All right. I better spell it out at least one time, since we know we're talking about group long-term disability insurance. What if you have none? All right, so an easy way I like to look at this is, if you were applying for a job and you got offered 2 jobs, which one would you choose? Would you choose job A that paid you $6,968 per month net when you're healthy, and then paid you $0 per month when you are sick or hurt? I better fix that K, that is brutal. Sick or hurt. Or would you choose job B that would pay you around $6,800 per month net when you're healthy, and $5,800 per month net when you're sick or hurt? All right. If you answered job B, then what you're saying is I don't currently have group long-term disability, but maybe it's something I should at least look into and consider. All right. Like I said, it's not available to everyone based off your occupation, your health history, and things like that. But I think it's an extremely important concept to at least understand and potentially at least look into for everyone that, you know, is dependent on their income, right? Which most people need their income in order to live. All right. So hopefully today's conversation was helpful and valuable for you. I know it's not always the sexiest conversation to imagine ourselves sick or hurt or unable to work, or imagine the protection side of the financial planning story. But I believe it's equally as important as the offensive side, because it doesn't matter if you have the greatest offensive plan in the world. If one unexpected life event wipes everything out, then maybe your plan could have used some, maybe there were some blind spots that should have been considered along the way. All right. So like I said, today we talked about if you have a 60% group long-term disability, what that looks like. And if you have no group long-term disability, what does that look like? If you have any questions, please do and you don't have someone you trust to reach out to, or if you just want to talk to me, please do give me a call or reach out to me directly. I really do always appreciate and enjoy having these conversations. Thanks for taking the time to watch and or listen to today's conversation. Please let me know what you thought by reaching out, commenting, and even awesome thing you can do as well is, if you think this is valuable for someone else, share it with them. All right. Thank you for your time. I hope everyone had a safe and fun 4th of July. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of this week. Thanks, and bye.